This week's Parsha, Parshas Breishis, we have the fortunate opportunity to begin the Torah again with Sefer Breishis. A new beginning, new start. And we are introduced to the first two children in history, the first two siblings in history, the first two brothers in history. Of course, the children of Adam and Chava, who are named Cain and Hevel. We're told that Cain is a farmer. He's working the ground. Hevel is a shepherd. He's taking care of the animals. And Cain decides to bring a korban, to bring a sacrifice to Hashem, to God. He brings some fruit, not of his best. Hevel also brings a sacrifice to God. And Hevel brings his finest. He brings mibechoros tsono, from the first born of his tzon, of his sheep. The Torah tells us Hashem decides, Vayisha Hashem el Hevel v'el minchaso. God decides to accept the korban of Hevel and not the korban of Cain. As a result, Cain becomes sad. So Hashem turns to Cain and he says the following. He says, Vayomer Hashem el Cain, the pasuk says, Lama charalach, why are you sad? V'lama naflu panecha, why do you look so downtrodden? He says to Cain, listen, don't worry about what happened. Just try to do better. Strive to succeed. Strive to make the next korban even better than the first korban, and you'll see, you'll be able to be successful. But if you don't strive to do any better, then ultimately you're just going to stay right where you are, and that's not a good place to be. So we know what the result was. The result was that Cain ended up killing Hevel. But the Chidushei Harim asks a question which I think really brings us to a tremendous insight into human nature. He asks a question on when Hashem calls out to Cain and says, why are you sad? Why are you downtrodden? The Chidushei Harim says, what was our God asking Cain? Why are you sad? Hashem knows why Cain is sad. Cain is sad because God didn't accept his korban. So what is God really saying to him? What kind of question is that? So the Chidushei Harim explains as follows. He says, what Hashem was asking Cain was not, why are you sad? Of course, he knows why are you sad. But be honest with yourself, Cain. Is your sadness stemming from the fact that you were really trying to become closer to me, closer to Hashem, and you were unable to? Or is your sadness stemming from the fact that you're jealous of your brother, that his korban was accepted while yours was not? And from this insight of the Chidushei Harim, we take a real important lesson for life. And that is, when we strive to do something, when we compete to be successful, and when we're not successful, do we end up becoming jealous of the person who is successful? Was the goal that we had intended unattainable, and that's why we're upset? That's why we feel a setback? Or is it that someone else succeeded where we didn't? So as we begin Sefer Breishis, it's important for us to begin focusing. This is a new year. We've all made commitments on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to become better people, to work on our midos, to work on our sense of self, of how we present ourselves to other people, but how we act to ourselves. And so we need to ask ourselves the question, when we're not successful at something and we may become disappointed, is our disappointment because of our lack of success? Or is our disappointment because someone else succeeded and we're jealous of them? If our disappointment is because of our lack of success, Hashem says to us, as he says to Cain, you could improve, you could succeed, keep on trying. But if our disappointment is because we're jealous of someone else, then we need to understand and be honest with ourselves and ensure that our success is not fueled by the need to be better than someone else, but our success is fueled by being the best that we can absolutely be. That's the lesson of the Chidushei Harim, the lesson that we learn from Hashem's question of Kayin. And let us hope that as we begin this Sefer Breishis, which is called the Sefer HaYashar, the Sefer, the book of those of the upright, where we learn to work on our midos, that we're able to take this lesson and apply it to our lives on a regular basis. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbat.